up, everyone? This is Tyler from the Aftertouch podcast. Got my boy Taft here.
Hey.
Cameras are in a different place. This is new. And we are going to be talking about Star Wars, The Last Jedi. We got our Facebook Live cam right here. Hi, it's Janky. Can we even see Jeff?
I know.
I'll fix it. I'll fix it.
But
real quick,
peeking in
you
there.
two, introduce yourselves.
Hi, I'm David.
I'm Jeffrey James Rowley.
Yes, both Star Wars fans,
Yeah.
And that's what we're going to be talking today.
Oh, no.
Should be fun. Tyler's working the camera.
It's both of our second appearance on the podcast.
It is.
I feel honored.
Are we the first
It's a good thing.
repeat guests?
No.
Who else have we
don't
had?
We've had
repeat?
Jossie twice.
I don't feel as
She was on that
honored
group
I know.
dating one. And then we haven't released her second one. That will come out in a couple weeks.
Are you sure? Really?
Yeah, we've had Jossie on twice. She was on the big dating panel, and then we had her solo because she talked about the awful date.
Are you sure that wasn't on the dating panel she spoke about
I
it?
I promise.
What? I don't remember
done
that
so many
one.
episodes.
We're just cranking
Well,
these
I was
out.
honored to be a repeat guest, but I am less honored now.
Yeah. The glimmer has kind of faded a little bit.
Maybe you'll be third, though. You'll be like third repeat first. That'd be good.
Yeah.
And everyone watching, take notice of David's awesome sweater. That is a Boba Fett swag right there.
Very appropriate because it's Star Wars.
Yeah.
All right. All right. We're talking about the Star Wars Last Jedi. Reviews were like, comme si, comme ça. That is French for iffy, I think. Mixed? I don't know. It's like yes, no, maybe.
Did you just make that up?
No, I swear. You go like, comment ça va? That means that's good.
How's it going? No?
Wait,
Are you
no.
sure?
No, comment ça va? How are you?
Okay.
And then you go, ça va bien.
I think he's making things up.
No.
Hey,
I
French
think
and
you're
Spanish are
mixing
similar. Jeff
French
should
and
know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
ça va bien is mixed with French and Spanish. Okay,
Yeah.
screw it. Star Wars. Okay, let's go.
50-50, how about that? Or iffy.
Yeah.
Lukewarm.
If you know Spanish, everyone fix it. All right,
I speak
Taft.
Spanish.
Taft, tell us,
Yeah.
what did you think of The Last Jedi? That's what we're talking about. We'll go in turns. Taft, you go first.
First off, I like that I'm going first because I'm probably the least invested in the Star Wars universe, which means the first opinion really is honestly the least valued. So I enjoyed it a lot. I thought it was a good action movie. I enjoyed that there was actual lightsaber fighting in it. I liked that there was stuff regarding the Force. I'm not going to go into details in case, but this will end up being a spoilers. This will be spoilers.
Yeah.
Okay. I enjoyed it a lot. I liked it. I liked it a lot more than Rogue One, to be honest. Rogue One bored me to death, really. The end was okay.
We're just like, what?
The end was okay, but
All right,
that's my opinion.
David, just as short as Taft's.
Rebuttal.
And then-
Really?
yeah.
Oh, I don't know.
Then we'll
I was gonna
then
say, I
we'll
don't
discuss. We'll discuss.
Okay, so to me it was a disappointing movie because I loved Force Awakens, and I felt like there was so many questions that movie brought up, and I was so excited to see this movie to get those answers, and it fell short.
What answers were you seeking?
That was so mystical.
That was pretty good. I think the same question as everybody, Snoke. Who is he or was he?
I will say Snoke was a really disappointing villain to
Right,
me. He just
because,
sat on his throne the whole
I feel
time.
like
What were his motives?
I feel like they built him up so big in Force Awakens, and then this movie came along and totally just crapped on you.
And I just didn't know, like, Palpatine, you knew his motives.
Right.
He wanted to, create the Empire. Do it. But do it. But instead, we have Snoke, and, like, at first he's like, J.J. Abrams made him to be this, like, whoa, who
Like
is this
mystic
guy?
figure.
And when you saw him Last Jedi, you're like, pussy. I mean, wuss.
He just got cut in half.
Like, yeah. Okay. We'll talk about these questions, though. Jeff.
Disappointed.
I had mixed feelings because parts I really liked and there were parts that I really hated. And so I wouldn't say disappointment because I think overall I did enjoy it, but there were pieces that I really did not like.
Okay. We'll have to talk about those. I guess for mine, I heard it from someone. It was a great movie, subpar Star Wars movie.
Yeah.
Because it was a good movie. It was enjoyable. Did y'all enjoy it? I enjoyed
No,
it.
I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
And that's a great way to put this movie.
Yeah.
It was entertaining.
Yeah,
It
good
was-
movie.
Yeah.
Subpar Star Wars
Star
movie.
Wars wise,
All right.
it was
David, what was all right? Let's have some questions. I know I want it like Snoke, Rey's parents.
race parents.
yeah,
Okay, now if you follow Star Wars, if you grew up like I did in the 80s watching Star Wars, because I'm only 34, so
You almost got your age wrong.
yeah,
you were like,
33, 34. So, was anybody else disappointed with Luke? Like,
no.
really?
I thought he was awesome.
See, I
No,
think
see-
like the really diehard fans don't like Luke's story in this
That he
movie.
wussed out.
Well, no, because I mean, if you watch, episode, what is it, 4, 5, and 6? You have a happy Luke who, is all about the Jedi, and he's badass, and he's all about the Force and all that, and then this movie comes along and he's hermit Luke. I don't like it.
But that's
like,
what the Jedi do. When things go bad, they run. Yoda ran. Obi-Wan ran.
Yeah,
But the thing I think that with most really and I'm not saying that I fall into this camp necessarily. I think the thing with most really diehard Star Wars fans is that Luke is like, regardless of the situation, Luke's got hope.
yeah,
He's the one
Yeah.
who with Vader was always saying, "I see good in you."
Yeah.
Even with all the
Yeah.
stuff that's going on, he's always the one that, regardless of the situation, he's sticking it out as far as I'm holding on to my hope and my belief that things will turn out well.
and this
But
movie
not for my nephew. Screw my nephew.
right.
Screw my kid
That's what I'm
nephew.
saying. That's what I'm saying. Like, this movie totally changed his character. Again, we go back to the whole Justice League situation where they changed characters, and I mean, I think that everybody else is a little more vested in these films because they've been around for so long,
Yeah.
and these characters they're lower. People love them. And I understand that you have to pass the torch. Characters have to die off. I'm okay with that.
But this is the Skywalker saga, so you need to like. I feel like what are they gonna do for the next movie? Leia's gone.
yeah.
Well,
No, but
in real life she's gone.
No, but they already said that she's not going to be in episode 9.
yeah, but like that, I feel like they should have killed her off in 9. I think they should have killed her off in
well,
8.
they did for a minute.
And then and
then she got the Force out of
And I
nowhere.
was,
What the
like, I was
hell?
like, oh, they killed her. This is how she dies. That is so sweet. That is so sad.
Right?
And then, oh crap, you're back.
The Force.
She's like,
that
"Shum."
they never explained. I don't know, or just
I read a theory that she's actually considered the chosen one, not Luke.
really.
Yeah, I read a theory on that, but
Then that's bullcrap.
fan
because-
theory. Wait, all right, Jeff, you laughed when we said Rey's parents. What did you think of the Rey's parents just being druggies and then ditching their daughter for like dope?
Well, my thought is that why do we need to buy into that? Like, what authority does Kylo Ren have on her parents?
He might just be saying this. Is that what
Yeah.
you're saying?
I'm saying that could be a way to really get people to, for a big reveal, is to tell people that no, the real answer is that her parents are nobodies, and then we find out later that maybe they are. I don't know that that's going to happen, but I also don't know that it's not.
All right, but Taff, do you like the Jedi fight?
I thought it was
lightsaber
awesome.
fight?
I was
Yeah.
entertained by that. It was good
Do
action.
you mean the one with?
With those red like guardian dudes.
Oh yeah,
They were cool looking.
That was sick.
Yeah, they were pretty like.
And I feel like the lightsaber action was cooler because like when the sabers clashed, there was like sparks. Like it felt more gritty. Like this is life and death. You know.
You notice
And
how
they made that face too.
Yeah.
you notice how violent it was when he would stab people. He'd be like,
oh yeah, yeah,
and then rip it out.
yeah.
like,
Kylo
oh.
Ren. Yeah.
I did like that.
Yeah.
I didn't notice the sparks, but I should have.
Oh, I did.
I think I was just in like goop.
Yeah.
Oh, this is so cool.
Oh,
Those
stargasm.
red like guys though, they were pretty good at fighting.
Yeah, they
like-
were.
Like
I mean, if they're guardians to Snoke, they better be.
For a second there, I had hopes that Kylo was gonna be good.
but then who would be the bad guy? For
I
9?
know. I was hoping that Snoke would be the guy that would take over as the bad guy for this movie.
That was actually one of the things. So, kind of back to Luke a little bit and his fall from grace. One of the things that I like, because you got to realize that I'm looking at Star Wars through the funnel of my Mormon religion.
Mm-hmm.
We're all joking. Mormon.
Yeah. But, like, I liked that, first of all, Luke falling away from the Jedi and having to kind of have a reconversion, because he kind of has the same feeling as Kylo Ren, that there's not Jedi or Sith, there's just the Force and there's balance. And that kind of bothered me, because I thought that was the direction and the theme that the makers of the movie were trying to come to, is that there's no good and evil, there's just balance. And I hate that. The thing that I've always loved about Star Wars is that there's clear good and there's clear evil.
Yeah.
In between.
Yeah. There's clear and concise good and evil. It's idealistic. And it might not be that realistic, but it is idealistic, and that is what I like about it.
Mm-hmm.
And so I liked that Luke, as he came to himself, began to realize that the Jedi are a thing, and the Sith are a thing. There is this counterbalance, and that's where the balance is found, is that there is good and there is evil. But the thing with Kylo is that he didn't try to get Rey to turn to the dark side. He said, come to the middle with me. And I was like, that's Satan. That he doesn't say, come to the dark side. He says, come to the middle. Don't
That's
be
an
a
interesting
Jedi.
thought, yeah.
Just come balance with me. And so I kind of liked that piece of it.
Yeah.
I didn't think about that. I didn't think, because also I guess I'll go throw in my Mormon roots as well. What I liked was that, like, the reason why I liked Luke's role in this, I was kind of disappointed. I want a big, awesome Jedi fight. But what I liked about his story arc was it showed that he is, even though, like, he's a Jedi, he's still human, and that he is fallible, the right word? You know, he had a time of weakness, and he turned to the dark side for like a tad bit when he was gonna supposedly kill Kylo Ren.
Well, and he himself said that he said it was for a split moment, and before he could correct or explain himself, that Kylo had already seen him, and so he was kind of caught in a bad thought, not even in a bad action.
Yeah, and so it goes to show that everyone, I was like, you know what, you could be like the most like awesome person, but you're human, you make mistakes, you have times of weakness, and you gotta he went through a little slump. But then he came back and then died. And is that like last minute forgiveness what he did? like bedridden forgiveness. He was like, yeah, this is all true. Does that count? Does that count?
Deathbed repentance.
Does he get to be a ghost? All right, what did you think of him bringing up? I read on Twitter, someone's like, the thing I hate about The Last Jedi is they tied into the prequels. So this guy said that this one line that Luke said made him hate the whole entire movie of The Last Jedi. And it's when Luke goes, the Jedi let Darth Sidious. And then apparently after that, this Twitter guy was like, I'm done. I'm done. Like, what did you think about him, like, tying? Because that's what I think this movie did. It tied in the prequels.
Meaning episodes
original
1,
2, and 3, and then it
Yeah.
also tied in 4, 5, and
The
6.
crappy ones, as I
Yes,
like to
the
call
ones
them.
that I pretend don't exist.
I think you're not.
Then you might have been, you might have liked that guy's tweet.
You're not the only one, dude.
Yeah.
You're not the only one.
You guys didn't like the prequels?
Well,
Come
No.
on, those awesome Jedi battles. Taft, did you like the prequels?
I liked the first one with Darth Maul, just because I thought he was a really cool,
Okay,
imposing
so,
villain.
yeah, Darth Maul was good, and Qui-Gon,
Qui-Gon was awesome.
but Anakin kid was
Yeah,
annoying
that
as
was
crap.
he was obnoxious.
Well, and I'm not crazy about Qui-Gon either.
Really? Oh,
Is it because
Qui-Gon.
he rides that gray line as well? He's not. He doesn't.
Well,
He goes behind like the
he's
council.
like, regardless of what you tell me, I'm going to do what I want. And it's like, let's use good judgment here and accept what our leaders are trying to tell us.
He should have left. Well, if he had not disobeyed, we wouldn't have all these movies.
It's true.
Thank
But we
you.
also wouldn't have that annoying kid
Episode
in our
2, which was horrid.
Episode 2,
But
yeah.
Natalie Portman is lovely.
She was so hot. I remember being a little kid, and then like when the tiger ripped her shirt, and you could see her belly button. I remember my mom was like looked at me, and I was like, and then they came out with a Lego toy with the rip, and they drew a little Lego belly button. I was like,
I didn't remember all those things.
I
quite
remember
that.
Natalie Portman like being like, I was like, wow, this is why we watch Star Wars. This is why we watch Star Wars. Natalie Portman's hot. They're playing in the field with those elephant-looking
No, that
Oompa
part was
Loompas.
dumb.
I'm telling you, episode 2 was horrible.
We're here to talk about The Force Awakens.
Yeah, The Force
No, The
Awakens.
The Last Jedi.
Last
Or
Jedi, yeah.
excuse me.
And we could talk about Force Awakens.
Was
'cause
The Last Jedi better than The Force Awakens?
Hell no.
I don't know.
I think so.
I only
What?
saw Force Awakens once, and I remember enjoying it while seeing it, but because I'm not like mega on Star Wars, I need to go back and rewatch it.
Wait, you think The Force Awakens is
I didn't like The Force Awakens. I saw it once, and then I was like, I'm never going to watch it again. And I watched it a second time.
Wait,
and then,
why?
And then I was like, oh, this is why I didn't want to watch it again. Because
I need explanations. here.
Well, I thought it was very like too much like A New Hope. I just didn't care about any of these characters.
It was too much like a
and
New Hope.
and there was too much. And one thing I'm not liking that what they're doing with Star Wars is you have to get some answers because Marvel owns Disney
Right,
and
right.
they're all connected. Marvel does Star Wars comics. So if you want answers that you didn't get from The Force Awakens, you have to read the
The
comic book.
comics.
And
The
I didn't like
tie-ins.
that. I didn't like, and I also didn't like. I don't know. It made me hate the characters. I hate R2D2. He sucks. he was asleep during the whole Force Awakens, and then once Han Solo dies, he's like, okay, I'm awake, and I know exactly where Luke is. And then why does C-3PO have his red arm? You have to read the comic books to find out. I didn't like the Force Awakens. And there was no Jedi fights. How come Kylo Ren couldn't beat Rey? How come he like barely could beat Finn?
Didn't like that.
He could barely defeat Finn.
Yeah.
How come no one, when they get blasted, dies anymore or gets hit by a lightsaber dies anymore? They're all getting cuts. Man, back in my day, you got touched and you got taken out. If you got shot by a blaster, you don't go, oh my gosh, I can like, no, hit by a blaster.
Hey, there's times
dead.
when people get hit by a blaster in the old ones and they don't die.
Who?
Doesn't Leia get hit when she's?
She got nicked. She got grazed. I'm talking about full like, oh, I'm good.
How are you gonna die from getting shot in the arm though?
The stormtroopers do.
Well,
The clones do.
No,
Because
they
it's
take
convenient.
a hit to the body.
All those Jedis did. All those Jedis did. Just saying. I just didn't like the Force Awakens.
I just remember Kylo Ren going ham on his like equipment
Yeah.
in the spaceship, and everyone was joking about his temper. That's all I remember
love
from it.
Force Awakens because I felt like it brought. It was a fresh.
It was a reminder of the
story.
good feelings.
Yeah,
of
it was.
Star Wars.
And it also like yes, it did feel a lot like New Hope, but I felt like that was necessary because you have to be able to
Reconnect to the old audience.
well, besides that, you have to be able to let these characters grow. Like you have to explain why Kylo is going to go full, mean guy. Yeah, Sith guy. And yeah, they killed one of my childhood heroes, but I cried a little. Not really, but
I cried.
I was very sad. But I understand why they did it. And so, and again, that movie brought on so many questions that I was looking forward to
The Last Jedi.
The Last Jedi, and those questions were just never answered, or they were just kind of like swept away. Like,
Well, I don't think the people who are doing Star Wars have a plan like the Marvel Cinematic Universe. I think they gave the direct J.J. Abrams the 8th one, and they go, I wonder who's going to do the 9th one, and then he just has to pick up. He goes, okay, I think J.J. Abrams wanted this.
I think they do have the stories pretty well written out, though.
You think?
Yeah.
Why didn't they answer anything?
Well, they did. They just gave dumb answers.
yeah, I don't know.
You didn't like Rogue One?
I didn't. I was
Rogue One
bored.
was amazing.
I was
thought it was
bored
okay.
in
I
that.
loved Rogue One. I like Rogue One a lot better than I like
We hang
Force
out?
Yeah, we hang out.
We do a podcast
We
together?
hang out. But also remember, I'm not as invested in these characters as you are. So when they died at the end, I'm like, oh, cool. Whatever.
Look at Jeff. He's like the evil dude.
That's why I liked Rogue One. everybody died. It was great.
It was what Suicide Squad was supposed to be. They were
And
actually
it-
they were
Right?
like legit
It
Suicide
did
Squad.
tie up one of the major plot holes.
Yeah,
of-
like how the hell did Luke destroy
Yeah.
the Death Star
Okay,
with
then
one
why
shot?
though did the same plot hole happen in The Force Awakens? They made an even
true.
bigger Death Star, and it still got blown up by that one shot.
I had a few problems with The Force Awakens, but I thought overall it was a pretty good movie.
Yeah,
After I watched The Force Awakens, my thought was, I could have written a better movie. But I still enjoyed it.
Okay, so another problem that I had with Last Jedi was the length. And I'm usually not one to shy away from
It is
long
longer.
movies.
Yeah.
And that's the thing is there are some movies that are long,
Mm-hmm.
but you don't really feel it.
Yeah.
Like you're watching it and you're like, wow, like this did not feel like an almost 3-hour movie.
Yeah.
But I remember specifically sitting in the movie watching The Last Jedi several times thinking, okay, this has got to be it. And nope, it just kept going. And okay, this has got to be it. Nope, it just kept going. And I don't know, like when that happens to me in a movie, I'm like,
I think because you didn't know the direction. There was no like kind of end goal.
it
of
was
The
very
Last Jedi.
convoluted with plot.
Yeah, they just kept jumping,
Yeah.
and I felt like none of the characters had like a resolve. Like Rey didn't really get any training. She was just like yelled at the whole time.
Yeah.
And then I felt like okay,
But she did. Did you notice that she did take the Jedi books?
and then yeah, she did take the Jedi books.
Yeah.
She stole those bad boys. That's why Yoda
Luke-
burned the tree.
Well, okay. So if we're talking about, well, you continue your thought, and then we can come back to Yoda. But I have thoughts about Yoda.
Oh
as well.
gosh, I just felt it was very convoluted,
Very
and I felt like I felt like also they ruined a lot of the characters that they made Poe look like a dick, and I'm just like, wow, I actually like him, but you kind of you're a meathead, but I know you're not a meathead, but you're a meathead,
Right.
And then I was like, pink-haired lady, why didn't you do the hyperspace thing a little faster? You just lost 30 ships. Asian Jar Jar Binks. Like when Finn was gonna like dive into that like
Dude, I was
thing,
waiting.
I was just like, this is it.
Yeah.
I was feeling emotional, and then when she crashed into him, I legit went ah, and like my brother's like, my mom was like, no, my brother was like, dude, like, are you did you want that? I was like, no, I want him dead. I want some blood. It would have been nice because he'd been like,
Yeah.
oh, that was so tragic.
Sacrifice.
And
You
then
know
she's
what I mean?
like, we don't do that. We do this not for hate, but for love. And I was like, oh, Dad.
I thought her sister had better screen time, and she was only in there for
They're
like.
both dumb. She dropped the bomb.
So my thought is that Finn and Rose's entire story was totally worthless
Right?
It was only there to set up the guy's next trilogy.
because
It was that.
Because Ryan
Right. No, I know he's doing a trilogy, but
Yeah.
is that like.
because you know
because of the kids,
the,
right?
the kid Jedi's.
Yeah,
It's just
yeah.
there to introduce that
Oh,
there's like
yeah.
kid Jedi's. But yeah, it was useless.
but like if dumb purple-haired lady starts by saying, "Hey guys, you're part of my crew, so I'm going to inform you of my plan." We can save ourselves a lot of time. We can save ourselves all sorts of situations. You won't have to fight with Poe anymore. He'll be on board. All you have to do is tell us what's going
Because
on.
Poe just wanted to know what the
Yeah.
plan was.
He's trying to come up with a plan because her plan, as far as he knows, is nothing.
Yeah, exactly.
And so he's trying to come up with a plan B because that's what he has to work with. And so I thought that was just dumb. What kind of a leader would just be like, "Follow me, I have no plan"? They would say, "Okay, here's the plan." And so I just thought that was dumb. Like, who would hold on to that information for that
I think they
long?
just did it to try to like redeem her, like, oh, shock value. Suddenly
Yeah.
she boosts, to try to get a
It's for
reaction from
dramatic
the
effect.
audience. Yeah, it's just for drama.
And
It's lame.
just dumb. Nobody would do that in that.
And then they brought in like once again the useless Captain Phasma.
I was gonna say
She's
I was kind of excited to see Phasma again, like hoping that there would
Do
be a
more.
little more there. Nope.
She just comes in and she's like, haha, you're back, Finn.
And she gets owned by Finn.
And Finn's like, you're not my boss anymore. Those like arm bracelet sword
It's
things.
like blade equalizers from Soul Calibur. Is that what that game is called?
I remember that game. Never played it, but
I
remember
I
it.
just feel like they didn't do any character development.
Yeah.
Poe, none of all the characters at the end are just like, you guys don't really do anything.
Well, and it was kind of weird because with most movie, it's like this movie was weird because it all supposedly takes place. It's almost like you're watching it live speed because you're watching it as this spaceship is flying away. And so it was just kind of weird that
takes place in like 10 days.
Yeah. Instead of like jumping forward in time or whatever. So there was time frame pieces, and I think that's why it felt so long, is because it's like we never got removed from that situation of
this chip
running away from the ship.
Yeah, the whole movie was just about them running away.
Yeah, the whole movie is a low speed chase.
It is a low speed chase.
But seriously, it is. So I want to talk about Yoda here for a second.
Do it.
Wait.
Bring up Yoda.
Are we pro or con puppet Yoda again?
Oh, I was definitely pro puppet.
Okay.
I thought, Puppet Yoda was sweet.
But here was my thing, is that first of all, I don't think Yoda as a ghost should be able to interfere with the real world.
The fact that he was able to blow up that tree.
Yeah.
Like, wow, okay, chill.
While it was a cool image and had that piece of it, I don't think that's I don't like that piece of it because it feels like that the ghost's influence should be the way that they can influence people who are still in the real world.
Because at that point, you're like, okay, Ghost, you're so powerful. How about you still help us?
Yeah, it's like,
Right.
Ghost, go kill Snoke.
Yeah, I know.
Go use Thunderbolt on him.
Yeah.
And so
I choose you, Yoda.
I didn't like that Yoda could interact with things in the world and still use the Force that way.
I just feel like the writer director kind of pulled a lot of crap out of his butt, just for
like,
for the benefit of moving.
You know
along.
you can do with the Force. Like chucks a cheeseburger in his mouth. You can like burn stuff when you're dead. Yeah.
Yep.
And you can fight when you're not even there.
The other
Right? Like that. Where did that come from?
He goes, yeah, that's my Jedi stuff. I made that. I'm awesome.
But the thing I really didn't like about
Yoda?
that interaction with Yoda, well, first of all, let me add, and I'm a little bit embarrassed about this, truthfully. I did get the chills when I saw that little ear come out from the shadows. But truthfully, I did. But, like, I didn't like that Yoda's message to Luke was that we already have the wisdom that's in those books. Rey doesn't need that. She already has it. She already has this information. He basically says, yeah, there's good information there, but she already has all that.
No, that's not what he was saying. My uncle corrected, because I thought the same thing. My uncle corrected me on this.
Okay, then you correct me.
The reason why Yoda said that is because he knew that Rey had already stolen the books.
Well,
That's why he
proceed.
that's why he said
Proceed.
she already has. Because he burns a tree. Luke's like, the texts are there, and she's like, she's got it all. And then it's because Yoda knows she already took the.
But he does say that the wisdom that is there is good, but that she has,
it within her.
yeah.
But also she has.
And
the
so
books.
I just didn't like the sentiment of that. That sure, there's wisdom in old books. You could even say like the scriptures.
I knew you were gonna take that.
But we already have that wisdom. We don't need that. Sure, there's good stuff back there, but we have it already, so why do we need to go back and learn from those who have come before us? So I didn't like that sentiment. But you gotta love Yoda in all times and in all things.
Oh, yeah. Like, classic is when Luke's doing his training and doing front flips and Yoda's on his back.
Yeah.
And his head's, like, bobbing.
Yeah.
Like, it's so funny looking.
Yoda's great. So that was my problems with Yoda. What were your thoughts on Yoda?
I didn't really mind Yoda's presence in the movie. I just didn't like the whole, like, he's using the Force to strike down the temple. Like, that was just kind of
All right, guys. Then let's get to this topic, and what did you think of the whole at the end Luke and Kylo thing?
I was mad about that.
Go, David.
Well,
Tell us.
again, it's just, where did this power of the Force come from, where you can just fight, like, not being there? I mean, I thought it was pretty bad, like, when he starts getting shot at, and then he just...
But I thought if he had actually been there, it just goes, "Whoa, you are super strong that you can
Right?
dodge all those."
Right? And I'm thinking like, whoa, like he's back. Luke's back, and then
It was so pumped. Like,
right.
guess he's
It
back.
just got me all freaking. I'm like, okay, if this is real, like this is just redeeming this movie. Like this shot alone is totally redeeming the movie for me. But then you realize that he's not actually there, and it's just like his force being projected. I'm like, wait a minute.
He's gonna be a really good ghost.
When when did that become like canon?
Yeah.
Like when did that become part of Star Wars?
I would say that it has been part of Star Wars, just in the part where.
Well, unless I haven't read something, because I've never seen that before.
Well, I would just say like in the scene where Luke goes into the forest and fights Vader, but Vader turns out to be him. When he's in the Dagobah system. And he walks into and Yoda kind of projects.
Oh, he
Yeah,
does.
and he gets
projects-
nervous, so he
right.
starts fighting him. Yeah.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Oh,
But that's not quite the same thing. But they do. Their
It's a
lightsabers
spe-
in that
yeah.
situation do touch.
Yeah.
Unlike in this one. So it's not quite the same thing, but it is similar.
But like, if you're a strong enough Jedi, you're able to use the spiritual and bring it
Yeah.
into the physical. So I guess could you do the same thing then? Bring the spiritual
now
to the physical.
I have a question in regards to this movie as well. That when I was watching it, I was kind of confused by it. So when Rey goes into that well or whatever, and then she keeps
that was
seeing
weird.
herself, like
I didn't get that.
what I was lost, completely lost.
I think they lost a good opportunity to do something like what's really down there. It was like a physical metaphor, but then it was nothing.
yeah.
Like I just want to make sure that I'm not the only one that I was kind of.
I was like,
And
is
maybe
this-
it'll make more sense in the next one or something.
Yeah.
But
Oh yay!
Do you feel like the movie was more meant to be an all-around? They tried to make it an all-around good movie and less fan service, or more fan service and just good movie?
I think that the director tried really hard to do fan service, but failed miserably.
Yeah.
That's just my take on it.
I kind of agree with that. I actually did like the way that they did their throwbacks more than in this one than they did in the Force Awakens. I felt like in the Force Awakens it was just like when they were trying to do throwbacks, it was too obvious. But the way they did it in this one, I felt like was with the way they would do cuts and with certain shots. Like when she first was going, I don't remember when the shot is, but there's a shot of Rey where she stands in a dark. It might be when she goes into the tree thing to get the books. But where you see a silhouetted image of her, and it looks just like that scene where Luke is going into the forest to go fight the pretend Vader.
Yeah.
And so I thought that there was things that were a lot more subtle in the throwbacks that they did in this one with the way they cut the image or however they did it that I thought was a lot more subtle than it was in The Force Awakens. But I do kind of think that, I don't know. One thing I really did not like, and this was probably the thing that I disliked the most about it, was the humor in it.
Yes.
And I did think that it was funny, but I didn't think it was Star Wars. Like that part where Luke gets blasted by the walkers and then he wipes off his shoulder. I was like, this isn't a Marvel movie.
I like that. I like that.
I thought it was gangster, dude. Like,
It's
I
a,
was like, oh.
my thought with that is that it's a good movie moment, but it's not a Star Wars movie.
Yeah.
He'd be a little
Yeah.
more humble.
Yeah.
Or like when Luke milks that nipple.
Dude,
Yeah,
And
that was
looked,
so weird.
That looked disgusting and
that
real, though.
whatever
They did a
cow
good
was like-
job on that. yeah, like looking over. We need to look up the effects on that, like how they did that. That was awesome.
Be careful researching the effects on that.
That was so. Like,
Luke milking nipple.
Safe search on.
Yeah.
That was so out there because it was just out of nowhere.
But guys,
Yeah.
okay.
How does
what-
he get his vitamin D on the island?
breastfeeding? But that was the because then it zooms in. He's like,
Yeah.
but those porgs, you can't go wrong with those porgs. Did you not like the porgs?
I didn't care about him.
Did you like the porgs, Taft? The little like.
Oh, the people that worked.
No,
on
no,
the-
the
little
little
penguin
animal
looking
thing,
things?
the little
That
penguin.
Chewie hung out with.
Oh, yeah. I
thought
thought they were
cute.
funny.
Okay, and Chewie doesn't do anything anymore,
Oh yeah, Chewie.
Yeah,
which
he
is
was-
sad.
He was worthless in this movie.
So
He's got good driving skills.
I think it would have been better if they had done something to distinguish the one that Chewie takes with him. Like they should have given it a different physical feature to make it.
distinguish it.
Yeah, so that we can say that this is.
Chewie sport.
Yeah.
This is Chewie's Pokemon.
But other than that, I thought.
I felt like porgs were just kind of like marketing tools.
It's gonna be a toy.
That's all it is.
It is a toy.
It's there you go. It's
That's
gonna
a
be
good point. Yeah, it's
I
not
mean-
really a part of the. And those things that they rode, they like race them for.
Oh,
Where are
yeah.
those in the actual Star Wars?
No. Well, yeah. I mean, there's always new planets and
Yeah.
new creatures. But yeah. Well, did you guys know?
Same with the salt foxes. What the heck?
Yeah, the the crystal fox
yeah,
things.
those are new Pokemon, guys.
Yeah,
Yeah.
dude, those salt things. I was just like,
Those were dope.
where do these come from?
It's the next evolution of Eevee.
I
You guys
did.
play Pokemon?
I did
Eevee.
love the imagery though of that battle in the salt where it's all white and,
And it turns
Oh,
red.
yeah,
Stephanie.
I thought that was really cool.
Stephanie just asked
Yeah.
about that. She said, "Can you guys talk about the salt and the reds?" Because she's obsessed with it.
I thought it was a really cool image.
Yeah.
I thought it like when it first got introduced, I thought the guy was bleeding. I'm like,
So did I.
what the hell? Like how did he start bleeding out of nowhere?
Did you guys know that Harrison Ford? This goes back to like the toys, like they do things for toys. Harrison Ford was like, "Hey, George Lucas, I want to die at Return of the Jedi."
Yep.
And he was just like, "No, that's not a good action figure." And so they kept him on because they needed to make.
Well, you know
action
why
figures
they froze him in episode 5.
at the end
Yeah.
to make that most iconic "I love you" scene ever.
Well, no, they froze him because they didn't know if he was gonna come back or not.
Oh,
and
really?
so they were actually gonna kill him off, but
So it was like a just in case.
it was just
Oh, that's
just
cool.
in case.
Well, the that line that you were talking about,
Ad libbed.
that was
That's awesome.
that was
and
it.
And it wasn't even planned.
It was
Didn't he have to
improvised.
pee?
That's what ad lib
no.
means.
So the line was written, "I love you too,"
Yeah.
Yeah.
and
But
Harrison
Ford.
Ford said that's not what he would say.
Yeah, he felt like it wasn't Han.
Yeah.
He's like, "I know," and that was bam.
Yeah, it was.
He's like, "I know."
I know.
See, and that's where the humor of Star Wars, I think, should be. Is like,
The characters.
yeah, and like in it just is a real humor rather than a forced humor of the weird creature nipple or the brush off of the shoulder that's just forced. It's like in another line by Han, "I don't know, fly casual." That's a good Star Wars humor line.
Because that's what he would say.
Yeah, and so I just didn't like the humor. in
So, what did you think of Poe's first lines? Like when he calls homeboy up and he's just like, "Still waiting."
it. I don't remember.
What did he say?
At the beginning of the movie, remember when Poe shows up?
Oh, and he's like talking with
Yeah.
and he's talking with the ginger dude, and he's like, "Am I still talking to you?"
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
See, that kind of
Like
I didn't love that either.
I was laughing, but then in retrospect, I was like, wait a minute, that didn't feel.
But maybe
yeah,
that's
my like all the humor in it is it's funny and I did laugh.
But that's what Poe did in The Force Awakens, though. Remember? So who talks first? You, me. I was just like,
Right.
so it's kind of Poe's like when he's like in a bad situation.
Yeah,
he's
no.
Like,
And I get that out of the character, but I felt like it was
it's not Star Wars.
like it felt more Marvel than anything. To be
yeah,
honest,
that's
with you.
what I felt about the humor is that it feels like a Marvel movie.
I like that. I like that.
I
I thought,
hated it.
but like I like The Last Jedi just because it was. If you think of it as just a movie, not a Star Wars movie, it's like Batman Begins. Batman Begins will all around as a great superhero movie, but if you were to take out the superhero-ness of it, great film.
Yeah.
Great
yeah.
film. Last Jedi. David.
I wouldn't call it a great film, dude.
But then again, think about what you're saying. You're comparing Batman Begins to The Last Jedi.
Yeah, that's true. I take that
Batman
back.
Begins is
Way
like
better.
way better
Than Last Jedi.
overall, like in
What do you
every
think- what do you think,
aspect.
David?
I would agree with that, but I mean completely different.
Yeah,
Movies.
I like The Last Jedi. I just wish there was more. I thought the parts that they did well were really well, and the parts that they didn't
Yeah.
were so.
So let me
big.
rephrase this. I didn't hate the movie. Like it wasn't Justice League for me. Like because I hated Justice League.
yeah.
Like I loathe Justice League, and I've caught some flack for that. But that's another subject. But yeah, I just felt like as a Star Wars movie, it wasn't as fulfilling for me
Mhm.
because I felt like it was it was, again, we go back, it was so convoluted with plot, and it just felt like it dragged, like it felt like it was just going on forever. And I think it brought up more questions than answers for a lot of people, actually. And I felt like the characters that they were building up in the Force Awakens were just kind of like, yeah, we'll just cut you in half and won't explain anything else about you.
I kind of found, because they definitely were trying to make, at least it felt like this is our new character story. This isn't about the 3 original Luke, Han, and Leia story. And I definitely felt like they were turning the reins, so to speak, over to the new generation of characters. And I think just that most of the fans of Star Wars, the really diehard people, don't feel a lot of connection to the new characters. And I think that the new Star Wars audience does, but I don't think that
The core.
Yeah.
I think the reason why though is because if they had done a Star Wars movie that didn't have Luke, Leia, or Han or Chewie, you'd be like, that was a good Star Wars movie. But the fact that they have those original characters in, there's expectation. This is what we want. This is because like in the next one, like this is still Rey's not coming. The actor is not coming back for Star Wars after 9.
Well, yeah.
So like, how does like this is the sky? Like, all the movies are about the Skywalkers, or like somehow like the Skywalkers.
It doesn't have to be that way though, in my mind.
But it's their, it's like the prequels were about baby Skywalker.
See, I actually have a theory about that. I don't think it should have been about baby Skywalker.
Oh no, you said I know Obi-Wan.
Yeah, I think it should have been about Obi-Wan.
Yeah,
because then we have animosity and bad feelings about Anakin rather than.
Well, then we'll enjoy the Kenobi movie that's coming out.
Is that greenlit?
Yeah, he's got a beard and everything, man.
Dude.
Who?
Ewan McGregor.
Oh, he's doing
Oh, he's actually doing it.
Yeah,
That's
people
cool.
have been asking like, "Hey, how come you're starting to do like fighting workouts? Why are you growing a beard currently?" And he's just like, "I got some things lined up." Kenobi.
So two things.
One.
Number one, how do we feel about the Kylo Ren challenge? Do you guys know what that is?
Is that
No.
Yeah, with the band.
No, what is that?
Remember when he's shirtless and he has his pants all the way up?
Oh, yeah.
Have you seen it?
It's like mom jeans on women these days. Oh my gosh, but on a man.
That's actually a challenge now. So
Are
like,
you
if you
serious?
look it up, Kylo Ren challenge, and you'll see like a bunch of people with
Oh my
they're going like this, and they have their like super high pants.
Hey, just look at Michael Jordan playing golf, and you got it.
Yeah. the first one that did it was my boy John Mayer,
Oh yeah, he did do that.
and it was hilarious.
Or what's number 2 then?
Number 2, how do we feel about Solo?
Oh, weren't they gonna make a Han Solo movie?
It's
coming
yeah,
out
it's
next
made.
Oh, it is.
Yeah.
Oh, cool. I'd
made.
dig that.
It's gonna be. It's either gonna be a hit or
Yeah.
a hard flop.
Who are they gonna cast for it?
So you know who Daniel Glover is? It Danny Glover? No, what's his
Yeah,
name?
it's Danny Glover. It's
It's not
Danny Glover.
Childish
No,
Gambino.
it's
Not Danny Glover.
He's
not his
Lando.
Donald Glover.
Donald Glover.
Yeah.
He's the black. He's Lando.
He's Lando
Sicilian.
Calrissian.
Oh,
I
okay.
still can't say it, Jeff.
Danny Glover is a.
They casted like a. I don't know what.
I
This
think he's a
guy's
nobody.
name. Yeah, he's like a new
He's
face.
one of us.
Yeah, see, Alden Ehrenreich. He's
I haven't
Han.
seen him.
I mean, he's.
Show the camera.
Huh.
I don't think he'll be loved.
Jeff's like, you will not be loved. It
He
was
kind of
said
looks
here.
like he could be on freaking Twilight or something.
Yeah.
The Vampire Diaries.
Yeah.
Paul Bettany is in it. He's Vision in
Oh, okay, that's
in
cool.
Marvel.
Isn't
Woody Harrelson.
Yeah, Woody Harrelson's in
Yeah,
it.
which I'm excited because I love Woody Harrelson.
Yeah, he's hilarious.
A made-up character.
And I don't know how I feel about the director, Ron Howard. He used to
Yeah.
be good, but
It's one of those things where, like, I don't think they should have done. I think they should do stuff like movies that will kind of move the plot. Rogue One moved the plot of Star Wars. It gave us the it filled in a
Right.
plot. Kenobi movie will move the plot of what was Ben doing. we don't know it. We don't care.
You
what
don't
Han-
know though. It probably could move the plot in some
True.
way if they're clever
We'll be like,
enough.
"Oh, this
Because did you know Rogue One was going to move the plot before it came out?
No.
Well, we kind of did because didn't we know it was gonna be about?
We knew it was going to be about them getting
Something.
the plans.
Okay, yeah.
But like this is
Yeah.
just what
They
was
just need to be
Is it
clever about it.
Supposedly, this is gonna be like it'll in some way tell the story of how Han met Chewie.
But
and
here's the
how he
thing.
saved his life.
Oh, cool.
But will they change it? Because originally they met in they were both slaves, and then he like rescued Chewie.
I don't know.
That's how it was in original canon before Disney came in. I had a book this big. It was called Everything You Need to Know About Star Wars Encyclopedia.
Tyler's sitting there with his with his Ovaltine.
Yeah, I'm just it told you a lot of stuff that you didn't know about these characters, like Chewie,
And
like,
now it's toilet paper.
and now it's toilet paper. Chewie had a sister who then Luke trains, and she has a yellow lightsaber, but that's crap now.
Let's be grateful for that.
Yellow lightsaber.
I'm all for what are those movies called when they give you like the character's background?
Prologue.
No.
What?
Like origin movies. Like I'm all for origin movies. And I'm excited as a Star Wars fan.
I'll go watch it.
Yeah, definitely. But again, I have my reservations.
Yeah. This is kind of random. Did anyone notice what's the name? Is it Rey that was in The Last Jedi?
Yeah.
She seemed like she gained weight or something. did anyone notice that? Like, I don't know what it was. Like her neck was like thicker and her cheeks were more full. Did any of you notice
I'll
that?
have to go back and
I can't say I did.
Go. Okay, watch. Just watch it.
I don't doubt it, but I didn't notice it.
Maybe she was like Prego or something.
She's not pregnant. I follow her on stuff.
You would.
I don't know why. She just seemed like she was more full in
She
the
was
face
drinking
or
all that
something.
milk from the
on the
She was
island.
drinking all that
Island.
green milk, dude.
Yeah.
Oh, that
Yeah,
was so
maybe.
gross.
Well, she's rich and famous now, so maybe she goes out to eat a little more.
Hey, yeah, that's a good point.
I was rich and famous. That's all I'd be doing.
That's
all
a good
day.
point.
Now I'd be working out. Now I'd be playing video games. I'd be doing everything I'd do already. Just with like in style. All right, Last Jedi. Well, let's hope that J.J. Abrams can finalize
Redeem
it
it.
with this 9th film. And who knows? Hey, this Ryan guy. Here's the thing. I liked what he did. I liked how he made the movie, personally. I thought it was good. I hope he brings the good stuff from Last Jedi into his new trilogy. I love the grit of that Kylo Ren fight, how he was just slashing. And
Yeah,
it was so
sweet.
It was so brutal, just like... like, I was like, oh my gosh, more. Let's get a John Wick Kylo Ren. Disney.
Disney. John Wick.
I can write it.
Keanu Ren.
Keanu Ren.
They're basically the same person.
Yeah, they kind of look
Yeah.
a bit like, except Keanu, I don't know.
That's funny. Well, guys, Jeff, David, thanks for being on the podcast. Thanks for talking about The Last Jedi.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
We should do Black Panther next.
Oh yeah, I'll be going into that with low expectations.
I know we talked about that last time.
I'll be
I
going
was
into
actually
that with
listening to
really
yours,
low
like,
expectations.
I was revamping the website, and like Taps was like, and you're like, it's gonna be so good. And Taps like, yeah. I don't even think I'm gonna. I'll go see it. I still haven't seen Thor Ragnarok.
Are you, dude?
What?
That is funny, man.
Jeff Day.
Let's go.
Let's
You
go.
haven't
You
seen
haven't
it
seen it
either.
either?
We're trash.
Wow.
But there's a lot of movies right now that I haven't seen. That
Yeah.
I want to see.
Yeah.
Ragnarok. Did you watch Justice League?
I did not.
Keep it that way.
Red box.
No, not even
Oh,
Redbox.
I think I'll
Not
watch
even.
it.
No.
I think I'll watch it again.
I'm a little bit concerned with Star Wars. I am tired of superhero movies, and I won't go see them in the theater.
Not
Yeah.
me.
I'll go to that with you because you're you.
Thanks.
To Thor. But
No, I feel the same way.
I'm
What?
sick of them, and I'm worried that they're gonna do the same thing with Star Wars. Just pump them out.
Oversaturated. It's gonna be oversaturated.
And I don't want that. I'm worried about that.
I didn't see Thor Ragnarok. I was like forced to go to Guardians, which I was grateful for. I haven't seen Iron Man 2 or 3. I didn't see Thor 2 or 3.
I'm gonna repeat what my friend. No. Well,
Say it. I dare you.
They can just keep pumping that into my veins, dude.
Caleb.
Caleb.
Well, I was like, yeah, we were eating lunch yesterday. I was just like, they just need to stop. And Caleb's like, no, they can just keep pumping that into my veins.
Seriously, dude. I'm the same way. Like,
They're fun.
every superhero movie, even the crappy ones, I'll go watch them.
That's it.
Because I'm just...
Well, that's why they keep
like,
doing them, is because people keep going.
Yeah.
to them.
People like me will just continue to hand them their money. And
Thanks, David.
Hey, I'm
You're the
alright
reason why
with
we're
that.
getting crappy movies.
No. It's crappy directors that we're getting crappy movies.
As a comic book fan, I have high expectations. If a 24-page comic can beat an entire 2.5 movie, if I can read a comic book and be like, oh, and it's not even moving, and then I watch Justice League, like,
Yeah, it was pretty bad.
Yeah, it was horrible.
all right, everyone, thanks for watching. Thanks for Facebook Living on our janky phone. We'll figure out how to get this better with our actual recording. But until then,
Absolutely.
we're out.
Jeff, David, thanks so much, guys.
Yeah.
May the force be with you.